Today's Leeds news: Ramsdale speculation increases, Leeds financial position, Leeds set for compensation, and academy coach previews under-21 semi-final. Morning folks, Jay here at the View, your Leeds United news for Tuesday morning. I hope you're all having a decent week so far, and we're trying to get over the weekend. It's a really tough one to get over, so I understand the angst in the comment sections. Don't worry, I'm right there with everybody as well, struggling to calm down after what we saw at the weekend from our goalkeeper. But there is some speculation around a new goalkeeper today, which will be fully dependent, by the way, on any kind of a promotion, but we'll get to that in a minute. We'll start off though with that story, and we'll talk about Aaron Ramsdale. Ramsdale has been mentioned with a potential move to Leeds United, and with fan patience for the current goalkeeper Ilan Meslier at an all-time low. More speculation is expected around Ramsdale and other potential goalkeepers. A story in the YEP has covered a release clause in Ramsdale's contract that could benefit Leeds United, but the caveat on that is, should Leeds sort out their current issues and get promoted, a topic itself where confidence is beginning to wane. Reports suggest that Leeds do have interest in Aaron Ramsdale and that the former England keeper is said to be on Leeds' shopping list. The report states that Ramsdale has interest from Leeds United as well as Bournemouth FC, and Ramsdale has no intention of dropping back down to the Championship with Southampton when they return. And the report states that Ramsdale has a release clause that will become active should Southampton go down. Southampton paid $25 million for Aaron Ramsdale last summer, and he signed a 4-year contract. But according to this report, there is a release clause in his contract that will become active should they get relegated. Now, the fee itself is not mentioned. $25 million is what Southampton paid for Ramsdale. Whether Leeds would consider that amount, even if they do get promoted, that's the only way he comes into the club. Outside of that, Leeds are being linked to other goalkeepers, and we'll hear more and more names in the coming days and weeks. But we'll move on and talk about Leeds United's financial position with the football finance reports due any minute now, and Leeds are yet to publish their financial results for their first year back in the Championship, and a piece in the YEP today has some detail of the situation and possible accusations of clubs maybe delaying tactics in order to stem off any kind of fines. Leeds are expected to announce significant losses from their drop to the Championship, although the PSR issue is likely to be a moot point, with player sales likely to cover an awful lot of those losses. But it should be said that this finance report only covers up till June 30th last year. So Archie Gray's sale would be included in it, but others wouldn't be that came after that. The likes of Somerville, Kamara and Jorginho Rutter, they will be in next year's financial results. There is no date currently set for when clubs need to release their financial results, but it is expected to be imminently. Most clubs will release their statements by the end of March, getting ready for the new tax year that starts in April. The latest set of figures will include Leeds' first year parachute payments, which are £40 million. Next year's will include this year's parachute payments, which sees a drop to £30 million. And should the worst case scenario happen and Leeds not get promoted this year, then they will drop again to £16 million next season and cause major problems for the club. Football finance expert Kieran Maguire has suggested that some clubs are using delay tactics in order to stem off some fines or punishments, saying the following on this. Clubs use a variety of delaying tactics to push back the submission date. Some just pay a fine, as holds fans in contempt. From a transparency perspective, Leeds aren't named as one of these clubs that's potentially using delaying tactics. But if it was the case, it would give some credence to Kieran Maguire's theory. Leeds are not expected to have a PSR issue, but are, as I say, expected to announce significant losses for this period. But we won't know that until they're publishing that statement. Then can be a more concrete one. We will reach out to Kieran Maguire once these financial results have been published and get his insight into the data from his perspective to give us a bit more of a clearer picture on what it actually means for Leeds United moving forward. Let's move on. Let's talk about some potential compensation that could be coming Leeds United's way. As we all know, Angus Kinnear is heading to Everton, and probably not on his own, but the story now shifts across to Leeds United potentially getting some financial compensation for the exit of their current CEO. Kinnear is looking at bringing Nick Hammond and Gary Penrice with him when he moves to Everton this summer. And Leeds have already started to move pieces behind the scenes to get other people in place of the exiting staff. Finance expert Dan Plumley insists that compensation is likely for any single member of staff that moves across to Everton this summer, as contracts have begun to change in the modern game. On Leeds receiving compensation, Plumley said the following: "It's highly likely. We see it a lot nowadays, don't we? We know that managers take coaching staff with them, and in the boardrooms, people want to bring people that they have worked with and trust and have relationships with. It's happening more and more now in the modern game, and clubs are being aware of that as well. So it's highly likely that you will start to see inserting of compensation clauses in all of these contracts. So if the worst case scenario does happen, at least you get some compensation from it." It remains to be seen what Leeds will do with the CEO situation. Do they bring in somebody from the States that maybe the 49ers already know? Do they move on without a CEO and put more pressure on more of that job, then move into the other people that are on the board? And then from the recruitment perspective, do Leeds bring in external recruitment people, or do they just move forward with the people that they've got internally that they've begun to promote into those more senior roles? We'll have to wait and find out about that one. We'll move on. Let's talk about some good news and a nice little break from the Leeds United senior team's current struggles, as the Leeds United under-21s have a National League Cup semi-final coming up and a real chance to go all the way and pick up some silverware. Academy coach Michael Pujak spoke to BBC Leeds this week on the game and suggested there are real consequences for his group of players in this competition. Leeds will play Altrincham FC in the semi-final of the National League Cup. And tickets for that game are now on sale at tickets.leedsunited.com. If you're interested in going, you can pick them up there. Pujak says that some of the Leeds players that he's got in this group right now are well developed and are capable of the demands being put on them from a physical perspective. He went on to say that the squad also contains some players of a very high technical and tactical level. So again, they are expected to be able to handle demands being put on them. However, on the tie itself and what the importance of this is to Leeds, Pujak said the following: "For me personally, the biggest gain from this competition is the psychological and the mental aspects for these games. There is obviously something at stake, although we do understand that every sports person wants to win in any competition they take part in. However, in the Premier League 2 games, the emphasis is on developing individuals and preparing them for the senior game. This competition offers another angle to the young player development, which is, if you don't win football matches, there is consequence of going out of the tournament. So this has been a real challenge for us as a young group. We started this season with a really young group of players, many able to play under 18 fixtures, though this has given them early exposure to the senior type of games for them. A lot of this side, as he mentioned, did play in the Leeds United under-18 side, and actually were part of the under-18 side that went all the way to the FAU Cup final last season before being beaten by an incredibly strong Manchester City under-18s who are dominating the under-18 Premier League table, as well as the under-21 Premier League 2 table as well. Former Leeds United Finlay Gorman in that mix of players as well. So it would be nice if you could see that group of players go a step further this year and go and pick up some silverware before the season finishes. It would be a fantastic achievement. There are some really good, potentially good young players in there. And I say potentially because, as we all know, development isn't a straight line. So some people develop quicker and then pause. Other people develop slower over time and take a while to peak. So we'll keep an eye on them. But there are some very exciting young players in that Leeds United squad right now. It's a good team. It's an exciting team to watch. They're a fun side to watch. If you haven't watched them this year, you definitely should. And everyone will keep an eye on the likes of Harry Gray, but you've got Sam Chambers, you've got Oliver Boast, you've got others in there as well. So plenty of really good talent in there. And we wish them all the best when they get into the semi-final as well. Folks, that'll be it for me today. We will have a podcast on Wednesday night. I'm just trying to line up someone to interview. I can't say anything on it just yet, but hopefully I'll have some detail on that for tomorrow evening. And I'll let you know on the community tab as well. But I will see you Wednesday morning for the Leeds United news and the podcast in the evening, getting ready for next week's must-win game against Luton Town. And we'll go again and we'll see what Daniel Farke does this weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day and I'll talk to you soon. See ya.